We can't copy.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hola, chicos y chicas.
We can't copy
Ludwig.
like Ludwig or anybody. I was like, we should copy T-Pain.
We about to get it rockin' in this bitch. You just tuned into the latest channel on Twitch. God, have I shown you that?
No.
I'll show you later. It's fire, dude. T-Pain's a streamer on Twitch, and he has the best intro.
Oh,
I apologize. Excuse me.
dude, that's how many beers are you in, dog?
Did you see that?
What's up?
I'm sorry. I've
Seven
been
check.
trying to be quiet like the entire night.
All right, so we're on to the latest episode.
Are we going?
Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
We've been going for about 45 seconds.
I'm over here jumping on my belly like, look, yeah, I'm recording. You gotta tell me when you do that!
No, I told you, that's not how we start.
It's not how we.
Alright, how's it going?
Motherfuckers.
I would say ladies and gentlemen, but we know what our target demographic is.
Boys and girls. Gather around the campfire.
Sing those campfire songs.
No. We got a little bit of news before we really get into it. This is, though, episode 9.
Yeah.
We've almost got 10 of these fuckers down.
Yeah.
And we've got some pretty big stuff coming up, so we're going to
Yeah.
tell you about that. But before then, I'll tell you guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. And also, I haven't been mentioning this, be sure to hit the notification button, because although Hey, look, listen. You're right. Fuck it, whatever.
Yeah,
All right.
no one does that.
Look, I have notifications for a couple of people.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the dumbest thing I think you've ever told me.
Fuck you. That way I don't have to actually get on YouTube to see when the new video's up. I can just get the notification on my phone and be like, oh, okay, I want to go watch it.
Lame.
It's lame to want to be up to date with the content creators
Yeah, it
you
is.
like.
It's lame.
No, it's not.
It's like, bro, just like go to YouTube if it's up. Oh, cool. I'll check it out. I personally am like against the bell. I'm just like, dude, I don't give a shit about that bell.
It's like
I don't give a
nobody,
fuck about that.
Nobody
bell.
uses that. Thus, it's lame. Like whatever, dude. Clearly, most people don't use the fucking library, and I think they're all fucking lame.
I mean, I think a lot of people use.
I think most people don't. I would argue most people don't use the library.
Most people don't use the search option on their phone. And it shows.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they really do.
Anyway, hit the notification.
We got our buddy Richard here with us today.
Yes,
That's
we
this
do.
other voice.
Hello.
What up? Introduce yourself to the fine folks. All 4 of them.
All 4 of them. Well, hello, fine folks. I'm Richard.
No, it's fine, folks. All 4 of them.
Fine folks, all 4.
That's what we call our fan.
That's
No, what would we call them? What are we gonna call them?
Oh, is it the Lowlives?
The Lowlives. Yeah.
Our fan base, we call them the Lowlives.
Hello.
All 4 of them.
Other lowlives.
Which is two of them being. Hey, look, all 4 of them. 2 of them being Luke and I, and then the other 2.
Graham and Addison.
Hey, man, at least.
So what's up, Graham? What's up, Addison?
It's me. You may have played D&D with me once, or seen me around once or twice. But it's...
You play D&D?
I do on occasion, actually. Believe it or not.
Okay, the person making faces and gestures at us is Molly. Molly, you can just... If there's something that's really important that you need to add in, you can just say it.
You will have seen Richard on the 4th of July video that they
Yes.
posted a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
That's right, yeah.
You were in that.
I might have been.
We shot guns.
Yep. Richard's a very patriotic man.
The most patriotic, obviously.
I've met some patriotic fuckers. Anyway.
Same. And not always for the right reasons.
Yeah. More like nationalist, honestly. But anyway. Yeah. Hey, welcome to the South, big dog.
Yeah.
So at the end of the video, at the end of the podcast this week, Kat Elizabeth is a local musician. And so we're going to have one of her songs at the end. So be sure to stay tuned for that. If you know any local musicians that want to have some of their music put out there, we like to kind of promote local talent. So if you're a local musician or you know anybody that's local, let them know about us. Tell them to reach out to us, because we're down with putting people's music at the end of our stuff. Kind of, it's like a showcase.
Yeah, we're also down to clown. Side note.
Dude, I'm always clowning. Anyway, so I think that's all of that. We can kind of get into more like news that's around the world right now.
Let's talk about football.
Sure.
Football started back Thursday?
Yes. NFL.
Yeah, of course. NFL's back. Finally.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God. Something to do. Dewberry and I are in a fantasy football league.
with
Addison,
from-
RPO Opinion.
Mm-hmm.
From another pod. Was it last podcast or was it one before?
This is the one before.
Okay.
It was episode 7.
We're in it, and we had our draft Sunday, and my first game is over. Lost by 16 points because I forgot to sub out one of the people in my lineup before the game started, so I fucked myself.
I won my first, which I'm pretty
Good
jazzed
stuff.
about.
Good stuff.
The numbers were all over the fucking place though before the game started. Like at one point I was projected to win by like 62%, and the next thing I knew I was projected to lose. I was predicted to win by like 15, and it just kept going back and forth.
When I
so
first
I just had
set
to kind of
my
pay attention
lineup,
to the other numbers.
when I first set my lineup, it was just like, yeah, you're 70% gonna be the victor. And I checked the day before the game started, and it had me losing like at like 20% was my victory chance. And I was like, dude, what the fuck did this guy do? What happened?
Man, I had players that like Kerryon Johnson, one of my running backs, net me 1.4 points.
Damn, dude.
It's like, bruh.
Damn.
But the hero on my team was Russell Wilson. Motherfucker got me 42 points as a quarterback. I was just like, my man.
I was bummed because like my defense is the Vikings, and you know if your defense gives up enough points, you end up going in the negative.
Mm-hmm.
And the Vikings got kind of thrashed. They got whipped, and so I ended up losing points off of the Vikings defense, which is a bummer.
What was your total finish points?
125, I think.
That's a little low, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yo, Addison's opponent this week got 92 points overall.
Addison, also, fun fact, last year in the Fantasy League championship game, Addison beat our buddy Jason by 100 points. And so when he was taking in like the buy-in for the league, Jason sent him $5 more than the buy-in. It was like, yeah, it's to thank you for being such a wonderful commissioner. And then he was like, I'll also send you $20 more if you don't tell anybody ever again that you beat me by 100 points. And so he changed his name in fantasy football to I beat Jason for the championship by 100 points.
Ouch.
And then on top of that football news, NCAA is back. College football is back.
And the SEC is not yet back. SEC starts
2 weeks.
It's
2
week
weeks
after
from
next.
Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah.
And from this past Saturday.
Can't
and
wait for that.
Dude, listen. The Sun Belt is replacing the Big 12. And there were 2 matchups between the Sun Belt Conference and the Big 12, and the Big 12 being a power conference. And both of those games, the Sun Belt Conference won. and one of them was an upset to a top 25 opponent.
Damn.
Yeah.
Who?
The Raging Cajuns beat Iowa State. And
They did. Holy shit. They did. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Dude, they wholesale whooped ass. It was awesome.
I went home Saturday back to my hometown to visit my folks, stay the night with them, came back Sunday. While I was there, we watched the Clemson game, and I thought it was pretty funny because I don't remember exactly who Clemson played, but they played a fucking nobody. You know, it was just some bullshit.
It was Wake Forest.
Yes,
Who is in their conference.
And they fucked them.
Oh, it was trounced.
The people, the announcers were talking about how great Clemson looked and how Clemson's just going to dominate the football field and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, they're playing a junior varsity team. What are you talking about? This is like if Alabama was playing Duke and they're like, oh, Alabama looks so good on the field against Duke. Of course they do. They're playing fucking Duke. It was ridiculous. I was like, all right, take like 10% off over there, announcers. Just chill out. Fuck off.
Look, the Raging Cajuns looked pretty good. Honestly, they didn't look great. It's just Iowa State looked like absolute hot garbage. Kansas State lost, and that blew my fucking mind.
Who'd they play?
They played who the fuck? It was It was another that was the other Sun Belt team that played. I don't remember who they played, but Kansas State lost. And I was just like, not Kansas State. And then Appalachian State turned around and won their game, which they were playing another nobody, but they still won. And Appalachian State, years ago, beat Michigan in what is known as the greatest college football upset of all time.
Cool.
But what's even more amazing about the Raging Cajuns beating Iowa State, I'm pretty sure it was an away game for them.
Oh.
They went into Iowa State.
Oh no!
And whooped their ass. They put on somehow the Raging Cajuns put on a fucking clinic for Iowa State.
In more important football news, let's talk about the fact that Tom Brady got that ass whipped. Because it's no mystery to anybody. I don't know if I've ever mentioned on the podcast. I do not like Tom Brady.
I like Tom Brady.
I don't like Tom Brady. I think he's weird. I don't like him.
He kisses his kids on the mouth.
Dude, I saw a meme. It was like playing some song. It's like Tom Brady leaving the house. His kid or his son's like, "Bye, Daddy." He's like, "I can't wait to get home and fuck the shit out of you." He's playing that song. I was like, "Yeah, I mean that do be Tom Brady though."
Bruh.
Dude, fuck that guy. He lost. I'm honestly kind of pleased. Fucking
I like Tom Brady.
Cam Newton though did quite well his first game with the Patriots.
He did okay. Yeah, he did pretty good.
I did okay. He did fucking great.
He did pretty good. I mean.
They were like, "Oh, what's that? They can't stop the run. Fuck it, running back. I'll do it myself."
Yeah, right.
Did he did great.
That's just
his
what
first
Cam
game.
Newton does, though.
He's a very athletic quarterback.
What does Cam Newton do? Scrambles. It's like the game is like 42 to like 13. They're losing 42-13. Fourth quarter with like 5 minutes left. Scrambles for a first down on a 4th and 10. Like Cam Newton just like, aha, boy. That's just Cam Newton. Cam Newton fucking scrambles.
What does Cam Newton do? Whatever the fuck he wants.
I mean, I don't know if his plan...
Except play at Auburn without briberies.
Fuck. No. It's except play at Florida without stealing laptops.
Oh, all right.
Look,
You're
I
right,
like Cam
though.
Newton.
You're right,
I do like
though,
Cam
yeah.
Newton, though. I like Cam.
I don't have a problem with him. I just hate his clothes.
I hate his haircut.
He just dude, he looks like a goofball.
He looks like The Weeknd, bro.
Yeah, but at least The Weeknd's like kind of handsome.
Man, he just look. This was a very Addison put it best though. This was a very humbling experience for Cam Newton. He went 80-something days without even being called after he was up as a free agent. I think when he was let go by the Panthers. Mm-hmm. Nobody called him for like 80-something days until he got a call from the Patriots. Cam Newton.
Yeah, fuck him.
And then he got the call, and then
former NFL MVP,
former NFL MVP, former national champion. Yeah. So I don't know. I hope he does really well. Addison thinks that he's going to, if he does okay, they'll trade him off when he's a little hotter. They'll trade him off to get somebody better.
Yeah, that's surprising.
But if he's great, they'll keep him, and hopefully he'll keep putting up good numbers. I certainly would like to see that. I like Jarrett Stidham. Don't put him in the game. I like Jarrett Stidham. Like I liked him at Auburn, but don't put him in the game. They had the.
Who's Jarrett Stidham play for?
He's the backup quarterback for the Patriots. He was backup for Tom Brady since he got in the NFL, and during both practices, he threw 3 interceptions.
Dude, who was it that played? I think it was Sunday, and he threw 3 interceptions. It was the Miami quarterback. The Dolphins started quarterback threw 3 interceptions.
Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick.
3. Yikes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sucks. Maybe put Tua in next game.
Dude, football's back.
Tua won't play. Tua won't play next game. He'll play in a while.
They'll keep Fitzpatrick. But dude, football's back, dude. And I haven't done the draft in a couple of years, so it's not the draft. The fantasy team. I haven't done the fantasy team in 2 years now, so it's really cool to be back on fantasy football. Even though Addison is definitely the front runner to win, considering he knows
he's gonna thrash everybody.
I don't know if he's gonna thrash everybody. I mean, he scored 134 points this past week. There's at least 5, 6 other people who scored more. He can be beaten. He's just really good about knowing the game, though.
he's really good about knowing who to play, when to play them, and who to pick up and when to pick them up. So,
but I mean, considering
he's just hard to beat.
Well, considering he has a podcast called RPO Opinions.
Yeah. His entire podcast is about fantasy football.
Which is football, yeah. Plus, that's what he wants to do. He wants to be like
which is
a commentator,
pretty cool.
that kind of stuff. Other sports news, though, that's coming out. Conor McGregor is under some fire. He has these allegations against him of not sexual assault, but exposing himself. So he was in France, and the claim right now is that he was in France at a club, and outside of one of the bathrooms, he like pulled his junk out and exposed himself to a woman there. That's her accusation.
Is that not just like what they do in France?
Oh my god. No.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
that's the allegation against Conor McGregor right now, and he's denying it. He was,
of course.
Well, I mean, even if he did do it, but he was apprehended by the French police, and then they let him go, and they haven't charged him yet. And he actually put some tweets out that he deleted pretty quickly, but not before somebody screenshot them. And it's these tweets that he's basically saying, I can't take this anymore. It's some pretty sketchy stuff talking about like how hard it's going right now, and it's not talking about it's like the worst part of it. This is the worst time of his life ever. And he's never put anything like that out before that I've seen. And so it's not like something like, every couple of months he makes a tweet like this. It seems like he's taking it pretty rough right now, which, I mean, anybody would if they did it or if they didn't do it, he's certainly distressed. And what the fuck happened here?
I spilled fucking candle wax on my phone.
Dude, you spilled candle wax on this phone.
Oh, god damn it. I just gotta, I guess, let it dry and then dig it out.
Yeah.
Fuck me, dude.
Do you have cracks on your phone?
I don't.
Oh, thank
First
God.
off, fucking how?
I was moving the candle, and then I bumped his laptop, and it tipped over. I fucked myself. So what? God fucking damn it.
I think that's all of the news that we have. News that we have to catch up on.
Press F to pay respects to Luke's phone.
So
But we got one more news thing to talk about.
Okay. This is kind of news. I reached out as if someone's actually going to see it, but I reached out on Twitter, like, Maurice Green, who is an MMA fighter. We've talked about him a couple times. He isn't super huge right now. He's a heavyweight, but I really like him. His ring name is the Crochet Boss. And so I reached out to him on Twitter to see if maybe he wants to do, like, a Zoom interview before his next fight. It'd be so cool to have something like that. And, if it happens, we'll let you guys know. And if it doesn't happen, then you'll probably never hear about this again. Of course, if he messages back like, hey, you punk ass bitch, I ain't gonna do no fucking interview with you, then you'll definitely hear about that. But other reviews that interviews we're working on getting right now, Andy Farish has expressed interest in doing an interview with us. And that would be absolutely huge. Because as we've mentioned multiple times on this podcast, we are huge fans of Andy Farish.
Not just Andy Farish, but... Well, maybe not specifically Andy Farish, but definitely the work that he puts out.
For sure.
The art that he creates is excellent, in my opinion.
Well, look, he signed a book for me. So
Same.
He didn't have to.
I have his autograph.
He didn't have to do that. So... What's up?
What? They're waxing.
We are in the middle of a podcast. This is not the time to show memes.
That's fair.
Take this seriously.
It wasn't a meme, it was a pun.
This
Anyway,
is serious. This is serious business.
There is one piece of news that you didn't mention.
Was it the MCU thing?
Yes. So
okay. I was going to leave that to you because I don't know what about that.
For those of you who've been watching, we've mentioned a couple times our interest in Lovecraft Country.
Mm-hmm.
And the lead actor of Lovecraft Country is Jonathan Majors. He plays the character Atticus Freeman. Jonathan Majors, it was announced today, has been cast in a important role in Ant-Man 3. It is currently not... they haven't said who he will be playing, But the rumors are saying that he will play the villain, and it's what is it? I can't think of that character's name. It's something the Conqueror.
There is also another piece of news that it's been a minute since it happened, but we haven't talked about it on the podcast yet, so we'll definitely have to touch on this in a second. But we'll finish what we're talking about with Atticus.
I'm trying to...
with the actor. What's his name again?
His name is Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors. He's a really good actor. I like him a lot.
I think he does excellent in...
Well, I was wondering what
Lovecraft
MCU
Country.
film he'd be in, and then you said Ant-Man 3, and I'm like, I know nothing about the Ant-Man franchise, aside from the movies, so none of the comic books, none of the
Well,
extended
I don't
stuff.
think the character he's playing is necessarily an Ant-Man villain. He's just a Marvel villain who will be in Ant-Man. I don't really know that much about that character.
From what I read, he's supposed to play Kang the
Kang
Conqueror.
the Conqueror. That's it. Kang the Conqueror. Don't know a lot about Kang the Conqueror.
Disappointing, because for such a talented person to only be able to be in one of the MCU films is such a tragedy.
It happens to all of them.
Yeah.
Happens to so many people. You can't keep all roles in there, or else there's no stakes. You know, some people got to go.
Didn't happen to Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton's still in there, technically. We haven't seen him since the movie he was in.
Saw him in the trailer for Morbius.
Yeah. But was that his character? And
I
also,
think so.
Is Morbius in the MCU?
Man, I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, Jonathan Majors is going to be in Ant-Man 3. I'm pretty excited about that. He does wonderful in Lovecraft Country, and I'm very excited to see more of him.
So the other big news that affected a lot of us deeply, especially I know it affected you very deeply, was the passing of Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, dude, that shit hurt, man.
And it hit a lot of us, and it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was so unexpected.
If you remember, about 4 or 5 months ago, I don't know if you saw this, there were some pictures coming out of Chadwick Boseman, where he had posted on social media, and people were very concerned because he looked very, very thin. And this explains what it was. It was chemotherapy.
Yeah. Apparently, it was 4 years he was fighting it.
Yeah.
And in between roles and in between jobs, he was taking chemotherapy and radiation, and it sucks. I hate that happened. You know,
what a great talent he was.
All my love goes out to his family and all of his friends that will certainly miss him far more than we could ever dream to miss him. And I hope the best for them in this trying time.
It's always sad when it's one of the good ones, when it's one of the really nice people.
Yeah.
Because from what I've read and what I've heard is he was always a very genuinely just nice person, on set and off set, and it just really hurts. It hurts when anybody goes, but it hurts even more when it's the good ones, and it's the ones that carry a lot of weight, especially social weight. You know, for someone playing a character as iconic as Black Panther has become in the past 3 years, you know, it's. And he's had other great films beyond that, too. He's played other significant characters based on real life.
He was going to play the... they were making... It was a movie about the Black Samurai. The, real-life historical Black Samurai. He was going to play him. And then didn't he play Jackie Robinson?
Yes.
Yeah.
In 42.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have not seen 42.
It's really good. It's a good film.
I know that he
it's,
was...
It's kind of by the books biopic, but it is good. It's better than most.
But if you really want a great example of somebody who lived their life up... If you want a great example of somebody who lived their life up to the fullest, he's a great character study. Well,
he didn't tell any... He didn't make it... It was not public. Nobody knew. I don't even know if the MCU, if Marvel knew. It's hard for them not to know, but...
Yeah, but I mean, you know, I can't speak for what another person knows.
But it's, you know... Imagine being, you know... You're going up for these roles, and then you find out that you have stage 4... What was it?
Colon cancer.
Huh? Colon?
Colon cancer.
Colon cancer. And, you know... A lot of people speculate, I know we kind of talked about this, that maybe he didn't tell anybody because he didn't want them to not hire him for the part.
That's possible.
And maybe also because Black Panther, and this is all speculation, but I would speculate that Black Panther meant a lot to the black community, in part. Having a superhero on screen that represents them socially and represents them visually, and that then when I talk about social weight, that's kind of the social weight I'm talking about. It is pretty obvious that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But when you have to carry that weight of everyone is looking up to the Black Panther, it's not necessarily Chadwick Boseman. It's the character that he plays. Kids don't look up Kids don't look up to Robert Downey Jr. They look up to Iron Man. So he's carrying that weight as a superhero, and he can't. And in his mind, he can't let people see him as weaker because of of the greater implications that it has. And again, that's all speculation. That may not be how he was looking at it and how he felt about it. Maybe he just didn't want people to pity him. I don't know. But we certainly had no idea. People had no idea because if it had come out that was a thing, we'd all heard about it.
Yeah,
it would have been a huge thing
for sure.
And so and I think that makes it hurt a little bit more because it came out of nowhere. But who am I to tell someone how to go about living their life with cancer? If that's how he felt that it was his best way to live was to not tell us, then I care more about him, I care more about his personal struggles than I do about how I feel about a celebrity that I really like, an actor that I really appreciate dying, But so, hats off to him and his legacy that he's leaving behind for sure.
May he rest in peace.
And I know I was thinking what next for the MCU, Yeah. What do we do now?
I wonder what they're gonna do.
I don't know. Somebody I'd like to see them, and this isn't necessarily for Black Panther, but we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. But just in general, an actor that I think would be great in the MCU is John David Washington.
Yeah,
it would be awesome in the MCU.
Speaking of John David Washington,
dude,
let's real quick. Movie theaters are open. Tenet is out.
Yep.
And we have seen it twice already.
Yep.
Be looking for. We're not gonna review it tonight, but be looking out for our Tenet review because we are gonna review that movie because that movie is pretty good in my opinion.
It's really good.
It's awesome.
The review for that's gonna be its own video that we're gonna do.
Yeah. We're not gonna do it on a podcast. We're gonna make a separate video that's just us reviewing Tenet. It's something else, man. I loved it. I was happy to be able to go and have a theater experience again.
A blockbuster, man.
It was wonderful. Acting was great. Action was great. Writing was great. Can't wait to talk more about it. But that's all we're going to say about it right now. And a side note, in one of our more recent podcasts, we talked about Mulan.
Yep.
I have seen Mulan. Movie sucks. It isn't good.
It didn't.
Some of the action,
and he definitely watched it legitimately.
Yeah. Anyway,
for sure.
Because
it's totally not criminal.
Yes.
To charge people $30 a pop for a fucking movie.
Yeah, for a movie rental. Yeah. Anyway.
A rental.
Anyway.
It still gets under my skin!
Especially if you have a monopoly on that market.
It's a fucking rental! A $30 fucking rent. I'm sorry. I'm still pissed off about that.
Well, look,
Go ahead.
Anyway, I watched the movie, and all I have to say is you remember the super lovable and colorful supporting cast that Mulan had in the animated film?
Yeah, man, it's awesome.
Yeah. Hope you didn't like them. Because they're not
in this
one.
They're the worst thing that was in the movie.
Yeah. They were we're going to remove Mushu to make it more historically accurate, and then put actual sorcerers in it, and a Deus Ex Machina Phoenix companion. Yeah, that's how it happened.
Mushu was unrealistic. You mean dragons in Chinese culture? What the fuck?
Right.
When was that ever a thing? Ever. At all.
Bad movie. Didn't like it.
I need to watch it.
Some of the action was okay. That's pretty much it. Remember that part in the animated Mulan movie where when the Hun leader finds out that Mulan's a girl and he doesn't react to the fact that she's a girl because he respects her as a warrior?
Is that how that happened in the anime?
Yeah, he was like, he sees it. He's like, "You're the warrior from the mountain."
Oh,
Yeah. In this movie, he's like a woman. You mean a pussy ass bitch girl? A submissive little bitch. Dude, I'm just like, whatever, dude. What the fuck ever.
Historically accurate for the Mongols to begin with.
Which, again, they cut out Mushu because they wanted to be historically accurate. Fuck Disney and that movie. Moving forward.
But with that being said, Lion King.
I actually haven't seen it. I want to because I love Donald Glover.
I was told something that was in there or something that wasn't in there that would really piss me off if I saw it.
Is it the Rafiki thing?
Yeah, it's not in there. The biggest character building moment in the entire original film was, ow, that really hurt.
It's in the past.
It's in the past. What does it matter if it's in the past? That's not in there. He doesn't learn. That's not how he learns that lesson. It's not an important lesson, guys.
Fuck that.
Yeah, letting go of the past is not important at all. Anyway.
Yeah, fuck Disney. Fuck Mulan.
So, trailer dropped this past week. A new trailer dropped this past week for a film that Luke and I and other people, but specifically us two, are super ecstatic to see, and it is Dune. Dune trailer dropped.
Which, real quick, before we talk about the trailer, let's talk about going to see Tenet.
Yeah.
And the fact that both times we saw Tenet, it had a sneak peek at the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And of all the moments that I saw happen before me that night at the theaters, that sneak peek was the third best thing.
It's pretty fucking great, dude.
Loved it. And then the trailer came out last week.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, it's so good.
Oh,
it looks so good.
God, dude.
And it's still slated to release this year.
It is currently slated for December.
Please don't get pushed back. We have the movie. Just let's watch it.
Dude, Timothée Chalamet looks so good as Paul.
Yeah, dude. Everything looks great. And there's not one thing that looks bad.
Yeah, right? Like, having seen the short series
well, we've seen half
the
of the
movie,
series.
but we've seen enough to know what I'm going to talk about. Having seen the movie, the miniseries, and seeing the production value and the costuming, and then just from the trailer of this movie, I was like, wow, this is gonna blow the other ones out of the fucking water. I forget her name, the woman that does the one with the box that does the Gom Jabbar. Gaius Mahalam.
The Reverend Mother?
Reverend Mother, but
Reverend
what?
Mother.
But what? Is Gaius Mahalam? Something like that?
I don't remember.
Anyway.
Just terrifying.
Just her costume compared to
both of them.
to David Lynch's, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's what she's supposed to look like.
And look, sometimes line delivery in trailers is not the same as it is in movies.
True.
Like in trailers, some of the line delivery is very much more dramatic. Like it's like, what's in the box? What's in the box? Like he might be like in the trailer, he's like, what's in the box? And she goes, pain. But in the movie, he might say, what's in the box? The line delivery is different for trailers, but
Gaia Helen Mohayam is her name.
When she fucking holds the needle up to his neck and she's like, pain. I was like, and she's got this veil over her face, which I'm like, that's how it's supposed to be, because it's mysterious. Paul doesn't know what's going on.
I can't wait, dude. And Oscar Isaacs.
Daddy.
Dude, Daddy. Oh, Daddy. Oh, my God.
Everybody looks good, but it doesn't feel out of place. That's a weird thing.
Yeah. Everybody's hot as fuck, and exactly. Everybody's hot as fuck.
Richard just showed us a button that says...
Everybody fits.
Richard just showed us a...
Nut.
He's got a button that when he presses it says nut.
And then you see...
Hey, whatever you did for that, send that to me. Okay.
And then you see...
Jason
Momoa is Duncan Idaho.
Oh my god, dude, Jason Momoa, man.
Josh
Everybody
Brolin.
Looks so good, dude. Everybody looks so cool. Dude, and dude,
the costumes.
Dude, the design, just the worm.
The worm.
It's terrifying.
Okay,
hey,
look.
Huh?
Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
As Glossu Raban.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get a great look at him. He looks awesome.
Yeah, dude. Hell, fucking dude, Stellan Skarsgård as Baron Harkonnen. From what we can see of him, he looks like Baron Harkonnen would.
Javier Bardem.
Oh my god.
He looks just like Stilgar.
So fucking good.
Also, truly an all-star cast.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna do.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Oh yeah.
I am. Listen. Okay, 2 years in a row now, I have like put all my eggs in one basket. And I was like, this is going to be my favorite film of the year. There's no way it's not. This film's going to be amazing. It's going to blow my fucking mind. And 2 years in a row, I've been disappointed. It happened with Glass. I was like, oh yeah. Even leading up to it, and I did this for both of them. I watched Unbreakable, and then I watched Split, and then I went to the movies and watched Glass, and I was like, oh, that was painfully average.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that was...
I didn't hate it.
Okay film.
Yeah. But then the next year was The Predator. And in lead up to that, I watched Predator, Predator 2, and Predators, got really hyped to watch the movie, went to the movie, and it fucking sucked.
That was really bad. The
Hated
movie was
it.
so fucking bad, dude.
It's horrible.
It was so bad. It was
And now,
so bad.
leading up to this one, we watched David Lynch's Dune. We're watching the miniseries, and
We've both read the book?
We both read the book. I am putting all of my eggs in this basket. Denis Villeneuve, don't disappoint me!
Look,
I need a win!
Did you see the thing about why they filmed in an actual desert? He said that he's like, I'll make the movie if you let me film in a desert because Jaws wasn't shot in a swimming pool.
I fucking love Denis Villeneuve,
King.
dude.
King
He makes
energy.
such good movies. Don't look, JP. He goes Jason Pangilin, and he is worried that this might be the one where he might be overambitious and it might not work.
It's possible.
But I swear to God, don't let it happen. Like I'm putting so much faith in this movie. All my eggs are in this basket. Don't disappoint me.
I think this shit's gonna slap. I think it's gonna slap.
Looks good. I'm so excited.
If nothing else, it's gonna look fantastic.
Yeah. I'm so excited, but I'm also nervous. I'm really nervous about this movie because it's happened twice in a row, and I just don't want it to happen again where I get so invested and hyped for a movie for it to just disappoint on virtually every level.
It won't just win on every level. Like I said, it'll at least look good.
Yeah. Well, the trailer for The Predator, it was like, oh, this is going to look really good. And then the CGI sucked in that movie.
Yeah, it did.
It all looked bad.
Remember when that dude accidentally blew his own head off with the shoulder cannon?
Right.
That movie
And
was
then
so fucking
even
bad.
in Glass, I was like, oh, dude, that looks so cool where he's like lifting the car or something. And then it just didn't in the movie.
Yeah.
Everything looked like there was just a camera attached. It looked like the actors were just holding a camera facing towards them. Like, it just,
Not good. Not good. Very disappointing.
I need a W here, dog. I need a win.
I think it's going to be good.
I need him to win Best Picture with this one, goddammit.
All right. So, moving on.
So, Xbox Series S.
Let's talk about next generation consoles.
I apologize for my rant about how much I need Dune to be great.
It's all good. So,
It happens.
next generation consoles, right? The Xbox Series X, they've announced release date, pre-order date, and price. Comes out, if I'm not mistaken, November 10th. I'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure it is November 10th. Pre-orders go live later this month. I think I saw September 22nd is pre-order date. $500. Not a bad price.
It's not bad.
Not a bad price. It's the same price as the Xbox One was on launch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, PS4 was $600, right?
No, it's $400.
$400?
Yeah.
Was PS4 cheaper than Xbox?
Yeah. $100 cheaper than the Xbox One.
You're right.
I know.
That's right. Fuck off. Fuck you.
It November 10th, 2020. They also recently announced the Xbox Series S, which is a slightly scaled back version. The specs of the Series S are not as good as the Series X, but it's still good enough to be worth the fact that it's a $300 console. Almost half the price of the Series X. Yeah,
it's only 3/5.
It's almost half the price, and it's definitely worth more than half the specs. The system's still going to be a beast. For those of you who don't care about playing 4K, it does not run native 4K, but it can boost to 4K. I think it's awesome. I still don't know if I'll get one
and it doesn't
personally.
have disk drive. I don't know if you mentioned that.
Yeah, okay, I did not. You're right. The Series S is a diskless console.
Which,
Yes.
I mean, considering I'm pretty much only exclusively play download games.
like getting discs. I like getting physical copies. But that does not change the fact that I buy a lot of digital games.
I like getting physical copies when I didn't have to download the game off the disc. When I could just put the disc in and go. I like physical copies.
My only thing...
I could take it to my friend's house and play with them. But considering anytime I play PlayStation with my friends, it's either online and we play together, or it's one of us plays and we swap the controller around. There's not a whole lot of couch co-op games that we play together.
Well, there's not a lot of couch co-op games anymore. Period.
So not as much as there used to be. Yeah. It needs to come back and I'll play it.
My personal biggest complaint about the Series S, not a big one. Not a big one. It is a download-only system, and its hard drive is half the size of the Series X. I think it's like 512 gigabytes, whereas the Series X is, I think, a terabyte.
Oh, dude,
what is that?
No.
What was that?
The Series S's hard drive is 512 gigabytes, whereas the Series X is a terabyte.
I don't know.
That is a drawback in my opinion, but I think it's like the only drawback.
Can I use an external?
I couldn't tell you. Haven't done that much research.
It's not enough.
I mean, you can get a game.
I mean, my PS4 Pro,
games,
my PS4 Pro is a terabyte hard drive, and like I've cleared that bitch out a couple times.
Yeah, well, exactly. So 500 gigabytes. I'm just every time I get a new game, I'm like, okay, which game am I gonna pop off this time? I just don't know about that, dog.
Yeah, that is a little upsetting.
But speaking of next gen, there's an event coming up. It's a PS5 event. When is it? When is it?
Wednesday.
Gotcha.
We're recording this.
Oh yeah, we talked about.
We're recording this Monday, the 14th. It is going to be Wednesday, the 16th. Mm-hmm. We don't know what they're going to talk about. But now that we know the price, pre-order date, and release date for the Series X, I can only assume that during this press conference, we're going to find out the price, release date, and the pre-order date for the PS5. I feel like if they give us this event and they don't give us that information, they're just going to kind of take an L this month, you know? I definitely think we will end that press conference with that knowledge. They'll probably show maybe more gameplay for hopefully launch titles. Maybe they'll announce a couple more things. I don't really know. I'm looking forward to it just because I'm likely going to get a PS5 and I want to know more about it. I think that the price of the PS5 will be competitive with the Series X. I think it will be anywhere from like $450 to $550. I don't think it'll be $600. But we'll see.
Don't you already have a Wi-Fi router?
Everybody's got a Wi-Fi router. Yeah.
So everybody already has a PS5.
Yeah. Well, mine ain't got a binder around it.
Dude, and it's like everyone's got a trash can too, so everyone has the fucking Series X.
Yeah. I mean, I have a Series X in my near my desk in my room right now. It's not as strong as a Series X, but it'll do everything a Series X will do.
Nice.
Yeah. I need to upgrade my PC.
Didn't you talk about getting one PC for the living room and one PC for the bedroom?
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about moving the PC I have in my room into here as like a living room.
I hate myself, dude.
There's like a living room PC to play like some PC games like with friends in here, and then getting much higher end PC for my room.
For instance, we'll play Outlast again.
Oh my god.
How many times have we started that up on Jason's computer?
We beat the first one. And I think we've like played the first couple hours of Outlast 2 probably like 3 times. We need to finish Call of Cthulhu.
We do.
That game scared the living... I've never had something scare me so bad that I dropped my controller and covered my eyes until Call of Cthulhu.
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to say it. When it comes to like horror games, I'm a total bitch. I'm a straight punk bitch. Like Observer isn't even that actually scary of a game. There's just occasionally something will chase you, and I just can't.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh no, because in reality, what do I want to do when something's chasing me? I either want to fight back and not lose or climb something. You can't do either in Observer. All you can do is run and hide, and I hate that. I hate it. It's like he's running through an office, and I'm like, grab a fucking stapler if you have to. Grab something, and you can't. And so I can't play games. I can't play horror games that don't let me fight back because my
you should play the Dead Space.
My
series.
flight or fight. I've heard, yeah.
At least Dead Space 1. Maybe not so much 2 and 3, but
my
definitely the first one.
my flight or fight response kicks in, and it's usually fight. Not. I hate not being able to fight back. I'm just like, oh, you just have to run away, and I hate it.
So tomorrow, there's a game coming out
Yeah.
called Spelunky 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any of y'all have ever played the first Spelunky game, but it was alright. I liked it. I've seen 2 reviews for Spelunky 2. They were both 10s. And one of them said that Spelunky 2 was like the perfect game. So, chances are, I'm probably going to pick that game up. And if I'm not mistaken, it has couch co-op.
Ooh.
We can play it together.
Is it what system? PS4?
PS4, Xbox One, PC, maybe Switch. I don't know
if you get it on the PS4,
Switch.
you can capture. I believe it's only 15 minutes at a time. But if you get on the PS4, you can capture. We can record it.
No, cool. Yeah.
But
looks cool.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna get it.
Nice.
It's very likely.
I think another new. Is it a remaster or a remake? That Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
That's a remake.
It is a remake.
Yeah.
Because I download it and sometimes I don't get the difference. I get the difference, but like sometimes I don't know if games were just remastered.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that is a remake.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. For those of you who don't know, I really love playing older things. I like old gaming consoles like the PlayStation. I also have a VHS player and I watch a lot of VHS tapes. Mostly from my dad's private collection. And and anyway, I got a PlayStation, and y'all shut the fuck up. And on that PlayStation, I've got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 and like 3 and 4. I have a lot of them. Richard, shut up, Richard. Stop.
I'm just laughing, man. I'm just laughing.
You're not just laughing. You're laughing at me. Stop it. I'm gonna throw this fucking. I'm gonna
Your voice is just getting higher and higher. I can't keep it together.
I'm gonna throw the fucking chopstick at you. You fucking shut up. Oh my fucking God. Shut up, Richard.
Try.
Quit fucking talking.
Okay. All right, I'm good. Now that our voices are back down where they should be.
Not mine. Oh, my fucking stomach hurts. Listen.
Let the balls drop again.
What I was saying. Richard's have to drop in the first place. Ow, my stomach hurts. My tummy hurts. Anyway, so what I was saying was that don't. You stay sitting down. I have Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and I have Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. And I grew up on those games, very beloved to me. And I swear to God, Richard.
Were those games part of your dad's private collection too?
No, those came from my cousin Randy. Anyway. I'm sorry, Dad, for ratting you out like that. You actually went back home. And in an old box, in my sister's, like, my sister don't live there anymore. She doesn't even go over there. But in her fucking closet, I was trying to just find any of my old shit that I might want. I found this box of VHS tapes. Most of them were just regular movies. But then I found one VHS tape, and it was strip poker. And it was just strip poker. But it was, like, old VHS 90s porn. It was just like, Dad! I did my dad wrong. You know why? The first person I showed it to, because my dad wasn't home, but his girlfriend was home at the time. No. She was cool. She was cool. Her name was TJ. She was cool as fuck. I was like, TJ. She was like, yeah. I was like, look what I fucking found upstairs. So, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 is a remake that just came out. and I have been playing it a little bit. I started it the other day. It's really cool. I haven't figured out if I can change to a different skater yet from Tony Hawk, because I couldn't find it on how to like change fucking whatever character you're running as. I did not start playing any of like the quote unquote career mode of like the Pro Skater games or whatever. I didn't play any like career mode like skateboard game except for Tony Hawk American Skateland for the Nintendo DS, or was it Wasteland? It was American Wasteland for the. No, it was Skateland. Sorry, there was one for the GameCube and for other consoles, and there was one for like the mobile console for like DS. Mm-hmm. So I had the DS, and so I played, I think it was Skateland. I did that one, I had a whole lot of fun. I beat that game, but all the rest of them, I just go into free skate and run around and have fun, and try to see like any hidden spots on the maps and such. Mm-hmm. So I started playing it again, and oh dude, the textures look great. The only thing I kind of get, because it's like, I guess it's less violent than the original ones. So in the original, which those games aren't too violent to begin with. I mean, they're fucking skateboarding games. But in the original Pro Skater games, at least I think the second one started doing this. If you fall down, blood might come out.
Oh,
because you land on concrete.
So there's just like a little bit of gore in there.
And that'll happen, and then you'll just kind of like, you'll be there, and you'll either get up and get on your board, I think, or you'll just reappear on your board and you're gone. Now, whenever you fall down, there's no blood. You hit the ground, and then you kind of like...
There's poop in the game.
You hit the ground. Hold on a second. I'm going to do something real quick. You're going to hate this.
There's poop.
All right. Hold on one second.
I was watching a video earlier of this dude playing on like a map, and his skater just kept shitting.
Okay, so we have a buddy. His name is... What? We have a buddy who likes Rick and Morty, and
do not call him.
Please.
Moving forward.
God damn. Anyway, you don't let me have fun. So anyway, the remake's pretty cool. I've only done free skate mode, but the graphics are cool. Anyway, whenever you fall down, you will basically like not dissipate, but it's almost like you glitch out and you glitch back in on top of your board and you're going again. But the game's pretty cool. I'm having a good time playing it. And we have one more thing to talk about before we get to our reviews this week. Now, usually we do one review, but this time we're going to do two. You get a twofer, and it is going to be Batman versus Dracula, and it's going to be Under the Red Hood. But right before we get to that, Luke had one more thing he wanted to talk about.
All right, so I've been playing a game recently. The game came out a little bit ago. It's called BloodStained, Ritual of the Night. It was made by Iga, who, if you don't know who Iga is, he's the guy that made the Castlevania games. He's the shit. The Metroidvania genre is my favorite video game genre. I love that shit. And I got the game when it came out, but I didn't really get a chance to play it until recently. I've been playing it, and I think it's pretty dope. I can't wait to see what else comes of it, but the one thing that really interested me was that there is a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reference in it. So, you know, Dio, like, uses the stone mask?
Yeah.
The stone mask is a piece of equipment in the game. And when you put it on, the character wears it. They put it on, so you can just walk around in the fucking vampire mask.
Nice.
It's really cool. It's also pretty good item stat-wise, at least for where I am in the game. It's pretty fun. My favorite, typically, my favorite upgrade in all Metroidvanias is the double jump. And I just recently got the double jump, so the game really opened up for me, and I'm just glad. I've just been going back to all the areas that I've been to before now with double jump and going to places that I couldn't reach, and oh god,
hell yeah,
it's quite the experience. I'm pretty strong right now. I have a, you know, like depending on like what weapon you use, you swing weapons at like a certain speed. But I picked up a sword that like the character doesn't swing; it's just like a wind blade slices in front of you, and so I attack as fast as I can press the button. So, like, it's not the damage-wise strongest sword I have, but considering that my strongest sword is, like, swing, 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 and it only does, like, 6 more damage than the one I'm using, whereas it was just, like, swing, 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 swing. Way stronger. I just got a ring that, like, ups my crit chance. I have annihilated everything in my path. Since getting that sword, it feels pretty good. Can't wait to see what else you can do. Really good game.
One more thing.
That's all I got about that.
Oh, okay, I thought you were going to say the review, but one more thing. Because that reminded me, and once you see it, you'll understand. But we actually just had some professional photos taken for us for like the podcast and everything. So we're gonna get those up as soon as we can. And some of them look pretty fucking baller.
Yeah.
And it's we'll go and tell you who it was. It's a good friend of ours. Her name is Kaylin Savini.
You can check her out on Instagram. It's the K-Sev Photography.
Can you spell that out?
The Kaysev Photography.
Cool.
It's the K-Sev.
Awesome. No underscore or anything?
I don't think so. I think it's one word.
Cool.
She's
No
incredible and amazing, and I love her.
She also
a
edits
person.
the videos for Simply Sierra Things.
that we've mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Simply Sierra Things. It's a YouTube channel with our friend Sierra. Molly is sometimes on that, which we didn't mention earlier, I don't think, but Molly's on the other couch hanging out with us. Luke and I tend to sit in the floor.
Yeah, like fucking goblins.
I'm sitting in a chair right now.
I'm not, because I know goddamn what I am.
A goblin.
Yeah.
And anyway, we got some cool photos coming up pretty soon, just to kind of update our channel a little bit instead of using the old photos we have.
These are more photos from Halloween 2 years ago.
Yeah, these are for our current looks up to date.
Yeah, we don't actually look like the way we look in our photos right
I don't
now.
have short hair and clean shaven. I am long hair and trying to get a little beard going.
Yeah, I don't have blonde hair.
You guys want to tell them what you did the other day?
We took photos.
The impulse buy that you guys made?
Oh, we went and bought
dude.
suits the other day.
Yep, just on a whim.
Fly suits.
Yeah, dude. I almost bought 2.
You had to send off the majority of yours to get tailored to you.
Yep.
But my jacket and vest fit like right off the rack, so I only had to get my pants tailored. So I came home with everything but my pants.
They should be ready a week from tomorrow. Yep. I cannot wait.
Yeah, can't wait. I'm super excited.
Dude,
I'm gonna be wearing that shit just to class, fresh as fuck.
I almost bought 2 suits. The suit that I went with is gray, but the suit I almost got was maroon. A lot of people tell me that they don't think it looks good on my skin. But the guy who was helping me find the right tone for my skin, the guy who knows about suits, was like, "Hey, I think this one fits with your skin." So I'm just saying, I might go back and pick it up if it's still there. Next month maybe I might go back and pick it up.
I don't recommend it.
I want it, and I want it with a fucking gray turtleneck. I don't give a fuck.
I bought a kind of like a sky bluish suit, and I got a lot of like pink ties and pocket squares to go with it.
Dude, pink goes well with blue, yeah.
It's fly. I'm gonna look fly.
I just don't want to look like I'm going to a wedding all the fucking time. That's the only thing I'm a little worried about with a gray suit. I know a lot of people, you can wear gray suits to a lot of things. I don't want people to think that I'm going to a wedding every time I wear it.
Great, yeah.
Yeah.
You just look fly all the goddamn time.
And
Well, thank you.
And,
Anyway.
and also, if you get different color dress shirts as well, mix and match
Yep.
with the ties.
Yep.
Maybe,
Dude, my ties look fucking good, dude.
maybe try a bow tie every now and again if you're feeling extra fancy. You know,
Love me some bow ties.
bow ties are good.
Yeah, dude. It can't wait to style, dude. Can't wait till like the next like I guess event that we're gonna be going to whenever the next big event is. Wearing that to it, I might even wear it to the. I'm not gonna wear it to the Dune premiere,
No.
but I'm gonna wear it out. And I think that we should have. There's like a couple events coming up this semester. I think they're like more formal events.
Are there?
Like I don't know if they're doing it this semester, but I think they're still doing some orchestra concerts for UNA.
Ooh.
Which would be the perfect event to wear something nice to.
Heck yeah.
Any theater performances with your friends. Especially, these are the kind of suits, you don't wear suits like this. You don't wear 3-piece suits in the fucking summer.
No.
If you, like, no. These are for, like, late fall, early winter, and you best believe that's when I usually am styling. During the off, that's like my season. During the off season, which is summer, that's when I'm wearing gym shorts and that kind of shit. because I don't have a whole lot of like good-looking summer wear. I have some, not a lot though. Fall and winter wear is where
my standard dress in the summer is nudity. So I am quite frankly not dressing
From
in the
where
summer.
I'm sitting right now, you actually do look nude because you're like your top half.
Yeah, you can't see my bottom half, and I am shirtless. Yeah. Thank God we're not videoing this. I'll just be over here just like playing my belly button, look at the camera. All right.
But, okay, so we've got. What's up?
We're snow bunnies. We like the cold.
I do love the
Damn
cold.
straight.
So in fact, I was dressing stylish as fuck last December when I went to go to the Boston Symphony Orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
We stepped up and stepped out. I'm for real. Anyway.
Cool. So moving forward,
movie reviews.
Let's get into these reviews.
Let's get these reviews. We're an hour into the podcast. We're gonna get through these reviews.
Hammer it home. Let's get her done.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna try and kind of roll through these. But first of all, Batman versus Dracula.
Well, we had a very interesting viewing experience for Batman versus Dracula.
We did.
We got about halfway through the movie and found out that at least 7 people, 2 of which, one being Luke and one being Addison, but 7 people had their cars broken into, at least 7 broken into that night, and we didn't find out until after the fact, and they were gone.
Shitty thieves, because I had some very important jewelry in my car that was not even touched. Instead, they just took the like $20 of change that I had chilling. That's $20 of change that I sorely miss, but $20 of change. Addison, however, is in a fraternity.
Yeah. Yep.
And
We're in the same fraternity.
they stole his fraternity pin, which is like $100 thing.
Yeah.
But that's beside the point.
It was a
Batman
versus Dracula.
Experience.
So Batman versus Dracula.
Yeah.
went
It's very
into-
very clearly a kid movie.
Well, I went into this, no offense, with lower expectations. It's a film called Batman vs. Dracula. I was not expecting this to be the magnum opus of animated Batman films. I went into this pretty low expectations, and I have to say, I was not disappointed. I enjoyed the experience. I don't think
It's cool.
I don't think it's a great film.
No,
I
God,
think-
I don't think it's a
but
great film. It was my film. I
I
picked it.
You have to look at it through the lens of this came out on television.
Mm-hmm.
It was a made-for-TV film.
Mm-hmm.
And it was based off of it was based off of the animated show that was running at the time called The Batman on Cartoon Network and WB Kids. Warner
Was it
Brothers Kids.
Kids?
It was on there. Mm-hmm.
At the time the movie released, it was on Cartoon Network.
Mm-hmm. It was on both. That's what I'm saying.
I thought it was on WB, and then WB dropped it, and Cartoon Network picked it up.
They're both owned by Warner Brothers. They sometimes go across.
Fair enough. WB is Warner Brothers.
Yeah, and Cartoon Network is owned by Warner Brothers. And so, anyway, I thought the film was okay. Some of the animation wasn't my favorite because it was based off of that show, and that show's animation wasn't my favorite.
Yes, man.
But the voice acting was fine. I liked the Batman.
Except for the Joker.
Yeah, the Joker had one good scene where his voice was okay, that's one of the best scenes in the film.
Yeah. One of the best parts of the movie revolves around the Joker, but that doesn't really make up for the fact that I don't really like his voice actor. I definitely don't like his design in that series.
No, the Joker, Joker caught the short end of that stick.
Yeah.
The Penguin looks okay. I mean, he looks like the Penguin. But Dracula was actually really cool because they actually had a bunch of different phases for Dracula at different points in the film, depending on how much blood he's consumed, which was cool. And I figured they would do that concept, but it was still well done. There was a stupid scene in the fucking gala where like Dracula goes to it looking for whoever would be the Batman, and he goes there under the name of Alucard. And
Dr. Alucard.
Dr. Alucard, and after the entire night, Dracula leaves, and Batman's like, "Wait a second!" He grabs a serving dish, and with like a red marker writes.
It was lipstick, wasn't it?
Grabs lipstick, writes Alucard, and just looks at it in a mirror. And I'm like, you couldn't just look at it.
Yep.
You didn't have to write it down. Like you couldn't. Like you're Batman. You have all these gadgets. You don't have a piece of paper. You don't have a phone. You can type in.
He clearly has not watched enough Castlevania.
That's Alucard.
In his defense, there wasn't a show back then.
The lore was pretty cool.
The game definitely was. Symphony of the Night had been out for a minute, which is the best Castlevania game.
The lore was pretty cool, actually, about how they did Dracula. About, like, the history, like, how he wound up in Gotham. They actually covered... It wasn't just he's there and now they gotta fight. They actually covered why he's in Gotham and what he wants. He had clear goals.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, the goals are take over the city just like everybody else is. But they were clear. And it's more of... Dracula wants to take over, really, the world. It's a decent animated kids movie. Doesn't hold a candle to the more gritty Batman films, because for me, Batman, while there is room for campiness, I feel like that time has passed. I feel like the time for Batman's campiness ended. Campiness can work, but the time for that to work ended in like the 70s, 60s, or 70s. As soon as Tim Burton's Batman came out, it kind of set a new precedent. And then you had Joel Schumacher's Batman, which went back to campy, but not even charming, and those were terrible. This one was okay. It was pretty campy, but it was okay. It did a decent job of portraying the character. Batman seemed okay. Bruce Wayne and Batman's conflict. They of course they touch on the conflict of Batman never having time to be Bruce Wayne. But I thought it was okay. We can go ahead and start putting some numbers in if you want.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Let me see here what I got. Usually I've got a whole like thing for this, but I don't know if I have one right. Oh, here it is. Review criteria. There we go. So obviously everything in this is artificial. It's an animated movie. So when we're talking about something like lighting, that
you can still animate things to be lit different.
Well, there are light artists that work on that. They do consult actual light artists to see like, hey, how would this affect here? How would these shadows look?
Same with cinematographers.
But that being said, nobody put up a physical light. But that's just animated movies in general. We're not changing our criteria up. We're going to use the same criteria we always use. So I guess let's talk lighting. What do you think?
I mean, the only thing wrong with the lighting, but it wasn't like, nothing to write home about.
My opinion on it is that the lighting did not help capture the essence of Batman.
True.
It was not... Batman films specifically, and especially Tim Burton, but Batman films are a lot of gothic... what is it called? It's German expressionism is the best way I can think about it. Visually speaking, it's harsh shadows. It's a lot of harsh shadows. It's sometimes obscure angles. That to me is what I think of when I think of Batman cinematography, and lighting is the harsh shadows. Wasn't a whole lot of that. It was just kind of general lighting, like you would do a kids show. Mm-hmm. I would give the lighting like a 5 because it's passable, but it doesn't actually help create an atmosphere for the Batman. But I'd give it a 5.
5 works for me. It's pretty average.
So after that, let's see. We have direction. It felt a lot of like autopilot.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
It just felt like they were kind of going through the numbers. It didn't feel so much there were times where it didn't feel like a Batman movie. It felt like an animated superhero movie that you would see.
Yeah, it felt like a kid superhero movie.
Yeah.
Like, nothing special. You're right. At times it really didn't feel like a Batman movie. It just felt like whatever. Direction, I'd go like a 4.5.
I'm cool with that. Okay. Writing. I think the writing was actually decent. I did not hate the writing.
Good story. It was cool. I mean, it could have been shitty. Could have been really shitty.
I think that the writing did feel like Batman. I felt like the writing... It felt like if Batman had to fight Dracula. It felt like it felt pretty legit. At least within the confines of a kid's show, right? Dracula's death was downright disturbing. Dracula's death was pretty
the
hardcore.
Scene in the blood bank with Joker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we go back to direction, I actually kind of want to give it a little bit more for that, because that scene was directed very well. They had one great directed scene. Like, that was the best scene in the whole damn movie.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I would kind of want to bump that direction up to a 5 at least. I'd give him a 0.5 for that, dude, because that that was good direction. When it felt like when they finally nailed what they wanted to do, they did it pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of it felt like autopilot. But that being said, the writing though, I think the writing was fine.
I give the writing a 7. I thought it was pretty good.
I agree.
Again, nothing to like shit the bed about, but like it was good. They didn't like fuck up the characters any more than the animated series had already done with its design and casting choices. Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Cinematography.
So, again, you can't really do cinematography, but shot composition for animated film, that's completely different. And there weren't really any shots that like jumped out at me.
There was one, and it was in the best
scene. Yeah, in the blood bank scene.
Yeah, there's a tracking shot of Batman, and Batman is in the. When I say Batman's in the background, I don't mean he's in. No, Batman's in the middle ground. He's in focus. Of course, the way that they do focus in these things is not quite the same. Almost everything's in focus, but it's Batman in the middle ground, and in the foreground, he's in a blood bank. There were these jars, and he's passing on the other side of them. And the jars are in the foreground between the camera and Batman. And when he walks past these jars, there is a terrifying Joker. Joker at this point has been infected. Or not infected.
He's a vampire.
He's a vampire. Joker's terrifying in that scene, and when it's passing like that, and there's this like creepy Joker face in the reflection of the glass that Batman doesn't see. Ugh. So I think that cinematography. I think I'd probably give a 6.5.
I would go 6.
Okay, I'll do a 6. I think that it. I think that it was
like
good.
Apart from that scene, it's just kind of
It is kind of
it's
on autopilot.
Really nothing special.
Okay. Let's see here. Hey. Stop that. Okay. Pacing.
It's quick and to the point, it didn't lull because it had a story to tell and it didn't have a lot of time to do it. It gets going and then it goes until the credits roll.
There were times where I felt it was dragging a little bit. I was like, okay, all right, okay. It just felt like some things were happening that I feel like could have taken less time to do. For instance, Batman having to write on a silver platter, not murder, Alucard, and red rum, right, and hold it up in the mirror to see like Dracula. I feel like he could have just come to that conclusion so much faster, and it wouldn't take it as much time.
Yeah, shock factor.
And for a little bit of time, Dracula doesn't do a whole lot. He's kind of waiting. He's got minions out doing things, which is cool because that's how Dracula. But he doesn't just do a whole lot. We keep hearing Penguin talk about how much Dracula wants to accomplish, but for the longest time, he just doesn't do a whole lot, and it kind of does tank the pacing a little bit. That being said, I don't think the pacing is bad. I just think there are some bad spots. I'd give the pacing a 6.
I was gonna go lower than that. Fuck.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna give it a 5.5. Yeah.
5.75.
Yeah, I'll meet you there.
Okay. Sound. I don't think there's anything spectacular.
I mean, I really don't think there was anything special at all about the sound in this movie.
I'm just gonna jump on that and give it a 5.
Yeah, that works, I guess. Because, like, at no point was it bad.
It was in sync.
Yeah. It just wasn't anything special. Yeah.
All right.
5 works for me.
Let's see here. Meaning behind the story. It's a big environmental message about blood banks.
Meaning behind the story?
Don't know if there was a meaning.
I was going to say, like, was there one? Like Dracula bad, maybe?
I don't know if there was a meaning behind the story. I'm going to be completely honest with you. 2, if that.
I mean, you're right. There just really wasn't one.
Yeah, the writing was decent. I almost want to take down the writing a little bit because there's no meaning behind the story. Nah. Design. I thought stuff looked cool.
Looked like Gotham.
Yeah, Batman's suit looked pretty cool. I like the Batman suit, the bat suit.
Yeah.
But then you gotta think about the Joker. Didn't like the Joker's design.
I hated the Joker's design.
I don't know, man. A lot of this film feels kind of just meh. I just think 5 again. I mean, that's all I
Yeah.
can...
Like, you give it a plus for one thing, and then a big neg for one thing. Like, it's just nothing special.
It
really just wasn't that special.
I feel like this is a very mediocre... Anyway, acting. The voice acting was okay.
Yeah.
Except for Joker.
It's like Batman and the Penguin did pretty good.
And even then, I don't think the Joker voice actor did bad. I just don't think he's the right choice for Joker.
Yeah. It's not that the dude was shitty. It's just that it's not who I would have picked to voice the Joker.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of like biased and unfair, but
casting is
our
important.
opinion.
So acting, I think I'd probably give that a little bit higher than most everything else.
I'd give like a 6.5 for acting
I think
personally.
I'd do that too, actually. Yeah. So there's one more left. It's special effects, but I think for these it should just be animation.
Yeah.
How was the animation as a whole?
I thought it was fine. I mean, like,
again, it has to. It's in the problem with this movie is that it's in the confines of the television show that it's taking place in. So they really didn't have a lot of room to like, kind of bend a little bit. They didn't have room to like for interpretation and do their own thing. The animation looks like it's from the television show. It doesn't look any better than the show. It doesn't look worse. It just is there.
True.
It's
like you watch like cartoons all the time, and they get a movie, and you can tell that the animation is just better because of the budget. But that just wasn't the case with this.
Yeah. Again, they did what they could with the animation they had. Like a 5. I mean.
Yeah. Seems good.
All right.
So you want to go ahead and tally that up, and we'll see what we got for it.
Yeah, I'll tally that up. So our score for Batman versus Dracula is pretty fitting. You know, when we started talking about it, we were kind of optimistic, like, oh, it actually wasn't terrible. And then the more we talked about it, we're like, okay, this actually isn't that great. It's a 5.18. It's a 5.18. That is our score for. What are you doing? What are you doing? Luke just put a freaking bottle top on his fucking nipple.
Yeah.
Anyway, 5.18 is our score for Batman vs. Dracula. I think that fits pretty well. It's a very
pretty good, yeah.
Average, middle of the road animated Batman movie.
Nothing special. Nothing too bad.
Yeah. It really the biggest problem for me with this film is that it didn't seem like it had a really big heart. Yeah. It just kind of seemed like it was there. However, I think the next film we're about to talk about absolutely had a heart, and I think it was a pretty good one, and that is Under the Red Hood. I did have a couple of notes that you brought to light while we were watching it that made me really think about the film in a different way, and not always for the better. There were just some like plot holes or things that you mentioned that I was like, oh yeah, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it?
I don't remember that at all, so can't wait to hear it.
Okay. Well, there was one specific one, and it's one that I had thought about, but I kind of am able to block it out. And then when you said it, I'm like, yeah, no, that's a... I like hyped up this movie, and then that happens.
Can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, okay.
No clue what you're talking about.
Okay, so Batman Under the Red Hood, this is not based off of any television show. This is its own thing.
It is an independent animated film.
Direct to DVD, not to TV, but to DVD. It is rated, I believe it was rated PG-13. PG-13, sorry. And so let's talk about it. Well, general thoughts on
First of all, we'll go ahead and talk about like design real quick. Every character design out of this world.
Yeah.
The Joker looked great.
Cool as hell.
Character design was awesome. Animation was awesome. Voice acting was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Story, really cool.
Yep.
The fight scenes, awesome.
Yep.
Just through and through.
And the heart too.
Yeah.
And there's a good meaning behind the story.
Yeah, the emotion that the characters brought, I thought it was great. I loved it.
So
I had never seen this movie before watching it with you. It was my first viewing, and I enjoyed it a good deal.
So let's talk. Do you want to go straight to the numbers, or do you want to talk about a little more?
I want to talk about the story a little bit. So basically, it's about the second Robin. Jason Todd is killed by the Joker, and then turns out, is it? I've heard it pronounced so many different ways. I'm gonna call him Ra's al Ghul.
In this movie, he's called Ra's.
Okay, Ra's al Ghul.
I always go with whatever the film that we're talking about, whatever media we're talking about. How do they pronounce it at the time? That's how I pronounce it for that specific one.
So Ra's al Ghul feels responsible for the death, and so he puts Jason in the Lazarus pit, brings him back to life. Jason freaks out, runs away, grows up, becomes the Red Hood, comes back to stop crime in Gotham his own way. Very brutally. And then Batman starts to fight him, finds out who he is, and then it becomes more about Batman trying to
redeem,
trying to save him from this path that he has chosen, and trying to like get him back on like a better path. And it's it's pretty good. I thought it was awesome.
It's so
was it Jensen Ackles that voiced the Red Hood?
Yep.
I thought that was a pretty good voice actor choice. I thought he did a good job.
In fact, I kind of have an extra kind of personal feeling about this film, and a lot of it goes into this was when I was late high school is when I watched this. I think it was the summer after my senior year. I kind of started. There were a couple of animated Batman movies on Netflix, and I was like, I want to watch them, so I watched them. And on YouTube, there was this guy who would do his own. He would do his own voice recordings for like movies and stuff. So he took this film and he picked a key scene from the movie, which is like the finale scene, and he did all the voices for all the characters.
Cool.
And I got on there and I messaged, I commented and I said, hey, this is really good. I think it could be even better if you like maybe synced it with the just the film, like just take out like put a muted version of it and just sync your lines with it, and it could be pretty cool. And then 5 years later, I happened to think about it. I've been in film school. I've learned how to like edit and things, and I said I'll do it for him just to see if I can do it. I found his old video from 5 years before at 480p, pulled it into Premiere Pro, pulled the scene itself, and I sunk up all the voice acting to it, which was not easy because it wasn't perfect, and I had to finagle a lot of things and add in my own sound effects for certain things that we had to hear, and so I put a lot of work into a scene from this movie for somebody else that's like a fan, and so I have a lot of respect for this film and a lot of admiration for this film. So it's really cool. Well, that was loud as shit.
Might be. That was on me.
Let's go and get into some of these numbers. We've kind of talked about the story. We don't want to do a lot of spoilers because we want you to watch the films that we talk about.
But that being said, if we talk about spoilers, happens. Whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
You're not paying me, so.
Yeah.
Anyway. And so, the little dragon ran away. And we started putting the numbers together. Lighting. I think the lighting was really good.
I mean, it fit the Batman bill.
Harsh lighting. It was dynamic. A lot of it took place at night, which was really cool.
It's damn near exclusively nighttime.
Batman and Dracula for a film about Dracula. So much of it took place during the day.
Also, no Patrick Harris as Nightwing. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, lighting pretty good. I'd give it like a 7, personally.
I would give it a 7.5. So I had a 7.25.
Yeah.
I can do that. The lighting was really cool. It was dynamic. It fit the Batman bill so much better than Dracula.
Dracula didn't fit the Batman bill.
Yeah. It felt like a Batman film with the lighting. The direction I think was really well done.
I agree.
Every scene, it felt like it had a purpose with the way that they were with the choices that they made. Because a lot of directions just making a bunch of decisions, and it seemed like a lot of the decisions they made were conscious efforts. It was the way that they chose to portray situations, the way that they chose to have to portray characters going through a decision-making process, and how they handle things differently than other characters. It always seemed like there was a purpose behind the decisions that were made for the film, both inside the film through the characters and when it comes to the production of the film. I think the direction was very well done, personally. And I'd even give it maybe an 8.5. I think it was really good direction.
I liked it. I don't know if I think it was 8.5. I was gonna go like a 7.5.
Or we can do 8.
I'll meet you at 8, I guess, because it was good.
I think the writing was really strong.
Oh, dude, the writing was awesome.
And the writing was really good.
It just like the little journey we take between Batman meeting the Red Hood and then Batman getting the hunch as to who it is, so he flies to wherever the fuck Raish is, and then like the confirmation and seeing Alfred's reaction to finding out that it's Jason.
Yeah.
That whole thing, incredible. I would give the writing an 8.5 for sure.
And it was based off of really good source material. And I think I'd meet you on an 8.5 for that one. I think the writing was very well done. And there was I mean, the film is not long. It's an hour 15. It's about as long as the Batman vs. Dracula. But this film, there's for to be an hour 15, there's a couple of subplots in here, and they don't feel rushed.
Yeah.
For instance, there's a subplot about Black Mask.
There is.
He is the like head gangster in town, and all of his top like lieutenants or whatever, are his top drug dealers are forced to work with Red Hood.
Yeah, he does not give them the option.
Yeah, and let's again, we're talking about the writing. I think that and this kind of goes into the meaning, so we'll get to talk about the meaning later. But the motives of the Red Hood, he wants to do good.
Yeah, he wants to achieve the same thing that Batman wants to achieve. He just wants to do it in a different way, in a way that he finds will be more effective.
Mm-hmm. Essentially, take over the drug trade, stop dealing to children.
Yeah.
And now, children aren't being dealt to.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about getting rid of the drugs, it's about controlling it. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be able to get rid of crime, but because people are always going to commit crimes, but maybe you can control when and where it happens, so that at least people are affected. And who too. Yep. He cuts off he kills in one evening all of the Black Mask's top drug dealers who are like
all of like the big gangsters, like Falcone, the other people. I don't know their names.
In one evening, he goes to each of their top lieutenants, kills them, beheads them, and throws the heads in front of them.
Puts them in a sack and just throws the sack down.
Yeah, he is pretty brutal, but he's like, no dealing to children or I'll kill you. Mm-hmm. So he's got really cool motives. The writing was really well done. We'll get into the meaning again. We barely touched on the meaning, but we'll get into more of it. The only thing about the writing that I was going to bring up, because you and this happened a couple of times, things didn't always make physiological sense. For instance, in the very beginning of the film, Jason Todd is blown up. But when Batman gets there, his whole body is intact.
Yeah, his entire body is just chilling when he was like 15 feet away from a bomb that would have leveled the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Yeah, his body was... Literally, he maybe just died from... Apparently, he just died from the concussed.
Yeah, but have you
he didn't get burnt, apparently.
Have you seen, is it Hurt Locker?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no.
He dies from the concussive blast of the bomb, and he's splattered.
Yeah. And even then, he was wearing an entire bomb suit.
And he was further away from a smaller bomb than Jason Todd was.
Yeah, exactly. It was, that wasn't quite right. And then it's got to be years later by the time we pick up. And
years.
So, here's the deal. When Batman finds out that Jason Todd that the Red Hood was a match for Jason Todd's DNA, he goes to Jason Todd's grave to dig him up, and when he digs him up, he sees a perfectly preserved, it hasn't looked like he's obviously hasn't aged because he's dead, but hasn't like decayed at all, and he's like, and Alfred's like, see, he's still at rest. You have nothing to worry about. And it's like, bruh. He hasn't decomposed over years.
It's very clearly that's not him at rest.
Yeah.
What the fuck ever?
So, and then we find out that Ra's al Ghul,
like a body double of like silicone.
But if you watch the film, you'll learn more about that. We don't want to give away too much. We've already given away too much. Let's get to the cinematography. Cool as hell.
Pretty awesome.
Great. Fight scenes
cool.
looked awesome.
Nothing like life changing.
Yeah.
Nothing. I wouldn't say it was like well done, but that doesn't change the fact that it was cool as fuck to look at.
I think that it's I think the reason the cinematography worked really well was that it was moving when I know this is gonna sound simple, but it moved when it needed to and it sat still when it needed to.
Yeah.
During the fight scenes, it felt like it didn't feel frantic, but it did feel lively. And there were good close-ups during the fight scenes that didn't feel like they were trying to hide anything.
What was it? I don't remember. There's one fight scene where a car gets like thrown at Batman, and both of the front doors open, and he dives through the passenger side door, through the seat, and then comes out the driver's side door. And then later in the movie, something happened, and you were like, you just gotta suspend your disbelief. And I was like, that's where you want me to suspend my disbelief? No, I'm Batman jumps through a fucking car?
That's the kind of shit Batman can do. I've seen him do more stunts than that. I have. What was it that I asked you to suspend your disbelief?
I don't remember what it was. I
I'm
can't remember off my head, man.
Was it, I'm trying to think. Oh, was it when I was like, Joker survives the bomb or whatever, and you're like, whatever.
I don't remember. I really can't remember.
But also
anyway,
the
cinematography.
The writing for the finale scene was really great too.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Anyway, cinematography 8.
I was gonna give it a 7.5. I'll do 7.75.
7.75, yeah.
All right. Next one is pacing. Pacing was great.
Oh yeah.
Pacing was phenomenal, man.
Yeah. It hit when it needed to, and it chilled when it needed to.
And it did it really well. Yeah.
And the parts that were like up weren't too short, and the parts that were down weren't long.
You know what I really appreciated? There was no romance. At all. They didn't try to put anything in there with Batman and somebody else. Like Batman and Dracula, they had a little bit of a romance thing going on.
This whole movie was Batman getting to the bottom of it.
Yep. Batman being a detective. How about that? He was actually doing some detective work.
Surprisingly, something that we don't see often. Surprisingly.
So, but anyway, pacing, man, it's really good. Really strong. What do you think?
I give it a 7.5 on pacing.
7.5? I think the pacing would deserve like 8.5 personally. I think so, man. But I'll go down to an 8.
Yeah. Oof.
I just think the pacing was. I'll give it an 8, and we can go down to a 7.75. But
works for me. Yeah.
I think the pacing was pretty great. The sound. I think the sound was really good too.
Yeah.
Sound was really good. The comment we made for the last one was that the sound kind of was just there. This one, I mean, for the most part it is, but there were times where I think the sound design was very well done.
There was more like ambience. There was more like this is probably gonna sound weird, but like it was easier to feel like it sounded
like a three-dimensional
more
space.
like something that you could like the locations sounded like locations you could visit.
It felt more like it sounded like a real space.
Yeah.
It sounded like a three-dimensional space.
Yeah. I would give the sound a 7.
I agree. I think that okay, meaning behind the story. I personally think the meaning behind the story, there's a couple things they touch on in themes like grief and loss.
Mm-hmm.
But something, and one of the things that you would thinking about the movie, you would think, oh, revenge bad, but actually revenge is not even really a thing here. What they're talking about here is more of, at what point do your personal morals become a detriment? I think it's part of it.
Yeah.
When there is a greater thing that needs to happen, at what point do your personal morals and your stubbornness to abide by your own morals get in the way of the greater good? And that's kind of the big question here is Red Hood wants to get rid of crime, or not get rid of crime, but stop crime in a way Batman can't, because Batman will always try to fight it, and he won't kill. But as Red Hood, he's like, I'm willing to kill, and I'm able to control it, and I'm able to get rid of crime better than you ever could.
Mm-hmm.
You should just let me do what I'm doing. So I think there's some really good meanings behind there. There's good themes, and I think that in my opinion, the big meaning behind the story is about like your personal morals and personal what's the word I'm looking for? Richard, you got any idea for like it's like morals, but there's another word for it. Personal convictions.
Yeah.
Personal convictions.
Or
I was gonna say
self truths or values.
Yeah. And at what point does it become a detriment? You know.
Yeah.
What point does it get in the way of what you ultimately want, and what's ultimately right? So I think morals I give a 7.5. Not morals. Meaning behind the story.
That's pretty accurate. I feel that's a good one.
So design, everything looked good, dude.
Oh, it looked awesome.
Everything looked
All
great.
the characters were cool. I wasn't crazy about the Black Mask, but like I didn't dislike it. I just wasn't crazy about it. Joker looked awesome. Batman looked awesome. Red Hood looked awesome. Nightwing looked cool. Those 4 assassins, whatever the fuck they were, they were cool. Mm-hmm. Fucking Gray Fox, like it was awesome.
Ra's al Ghul looked cool as hell too.
Oh yeah, I give the design a 7.75.
I think I'll just meet you there on that one. The acting, I think the voice acting was great.
It was good. Like I said, Jensen Ackles did a great job. Love Neil Patrick Harris. He did great.
John DiMaggio as the Joker.
I
loved it.
Again, it's hard to beat Mark Hamill.
But man,
he still did a good job.
I think he made it his own.
Yeah, he didn't try to He didn't try to emulate anything.
Yeah. He was his own thing.
Yeah,
and I think it worked great.
And
especially,
I respect that.
One of the big lines I was really excited to see you get to see was kind of like witness you watching for the first time. It's in the very beginning, and he like just finished beating the absolute fuck out of Jason Todd with a crowbar. He goes to the door. He says, I'm sorry, Pumpkin, but I gotta go. We had fun though, right? Well, okay, well maybe me. I'm just guessing because you're being awful quiet. Anyway, finish your homework and be in bed by 9. And he says, oh, and please tell the big man I said hello. And he like the way he said it was so menacing. It was so good. And he's got this like that like just conniving evil grin that only the Joker has. Mm-hmm. And his laugh was really good. John DiMaggio did
his laugh was awesome. Oh so man, good. Yeah.
His cackle.
Oh, wow.
I loved it.
I give the voice acting an 8.
I'll do an 8. I guess I'll just do an 8. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I was gonna be like, I'll do an 8.5, and that would give us like an 8.25, I guess. But then I was like, I really feel more like 8.25. But at that point, I'm just splitting hairs if we're trying to do the difference. So I was just like 8, fine. And lastly, it's the animation itself.
It was great.
I think it was awesome.
It was pretty good. Way better than Batman vs. Dracula. Way better.
Yeah. The budget was definitely higher. It's obvious that it was higher. Everything looked great. I think I still think that it did a good job of creating depth with things being out of focus and in focus. It did better than Dracula, but it still did a thing that I think a lot of animated movies do is they don't have a lot of depth.
Yeah.
Because everything's in focus a lot of the time. That being said, the movements were very smooth. Nothing felt, especially during that fight scene in the bathroom or whatever, when they like come into this like old abandoned building and they're like in that bathroom and yeah. So I think the animation was pretty good. I'd give it like a 7.5.
Batman just beats the shit out of Jason Todd, dude.
I'd give it like a 7.5.
Shit out of that kid.
Animation.
Yeah, that's fair. 7.5 sounds right. Yeah.
All right, dude. I got these numbers.
He just beats the shit out of that.
He does. He beats the absolute shit out of Jason Todd.
God, beats the fuck out of that dude.
But before that was a really good fight.
Mm-hmm.
He just got the upper
hand.
Even
after that, like
he just got the upper hand.
That's one way to say he beats the fuck out of that kid.
Slammed his head in the toilet. He beat him like, you ever seen The Matrix? Literally Morpheus and Agent Smith. Yeah. just
beats the shit out of him.
That was great. Anyway, I've got the numbers. We're gonna crunch these bad boys and we're gonna get back to you with our official score. All right, so I think this fits pretty well. Our score for Batman Under the Red Hood is a 7.7.
Yeah.
I think it fits pretty well.
Pretty good.
I personally, if it was just me doing it on my own, it would have been a little bit higher. But as our review goes,
always.
Anyway,
What?
I
I never give anything higher than a 4.5.
yeah, right. That's how you feel right now. I'm like,
I don't feel like that.
I'm like-
It's just.
I think I would give it a little bit higher, as always. Be like, oh, I'm sorry. I think that, like, you know, I don't know. I think maybe I have a higher scale. I
Excuse
don't
me
know.
for enjoying something.
Yeah, right.
No, I enjoyed it. 7.7.
I just
solid
enjoyed
number.
it more. I just enjoyed it more than he did. But our score is a 7.7, and I think that is, as a combined score between you and I coming up with it together,
Pretty good.
Not bad.
We've had way worse ones.
There was a spell for like 3 films in a row. They all got like
We just watched bad shit.
1.5s to 3, and by American Pickle, I was in that review. I was like, Luke, yeah, can we just review a good movie, please? Tired of watching all these shit movies.
We do it
filmmate.
too often.
I was like, I want to watch something worth the shit. God damn.
But yeah, like we said, 7.7. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for that Tenet review that's coming. It's gonna be coming soon.
We've got a special episode coming up later this week. And just be looking out for that.
Yeah,
it'll
we're
be fun.
not going to talk too much about it, but it's going to be a surprise drop.
Be looking out for some more Let's Plays coming up.
Yo.
Every Saturday, I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the podcast. Every Saturday, a new movie review. Well, one of our movie reviews from our podcast go up. If you have listened to our podcast, or maybe haven't listened to the reviews themselves, or maybe you just want to listen to our thoughts on a movie, well, luckily every Saturday, in order from when they released, unless we have a special occasion, is when they will come out. It is just the reviews themselves from our individual podcasts. So if you want to get our thoughts on those and nothing else, you can listen to those too. Those come out every Saturday at noon. And I think that's pretty much everything I have to say.
Yeah, that's about it. So, thank you guys for tuning in. I guess really the only thing we have left to say is theme song.
He's got a girlfriend. If you couldn't guess already, she's in me, and he's in it for the long run. Looking for love in all the places I can't be. And he took her to the mountains where they watched all of the stars. She said they kept counting, but lost track when she pushed him up against his car. And how he tortures me. Loves her, but then again, what do I know? He can't find inspiration unless he lights up another smoke. And I don't know much, but the much I've heard is enough to make me wonder if it were me, would he still be stuck? And how he tortures me. And he isn't mine. And just to want him. So I gambled away